Good afternoon, everyone. This is Harshit Omar, History Faculty at Legacy IS Academy. Today, we are going to start one of the most important series called as Target UPSC Prelims 2024. अब जैसा कि आप सभी को पता है कि प्रीलिम्स बहुत ही जल्द अब आने वाला है जून में और आप सभी लोग प्रिपेयर कर रहे होंगे फॉर योर प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन. Now, most of the students, they get confused that what are the important topics for prelims examination. So here I am going to tell you, and we are going to analyze the UPSC prelims previous year papers so that we can understand the demand of UPSC, that we should focus most, like there are various topics in history. So through these PYQs, we are going to understand important topics for your prelims examination. So in this session, I'm going to analyze PYQs of CAPF as well as UPSC Civil Services Examination past 16 years paper. And the topic will be Buddhism and Jainism. Now, Buddhism and Jainism is considered one of the most important topic from ancient India, because in 6th century BC, the most important change that came in that time period was religious change. And that religious change is also called as socio-religious reform movement. And two important socio-religious reformers, that is Buddha and Mahavira. So we should understand the importance of Buddhism and Jainism from the perspective of UPSC Prelims examination. Now, as you can see here, so I have taken last 16 years PYQs from UPSC CAPF paper so that we can understand what type of questions UPSC asks, what are the important areas in terms of Buddhism and Jainism, and also UPSC Civil Services Examination. Clear? Now, first of all, we are going to analyze some important topics from the perspective of Buddhism in last 16 years CAPF paper. Like, there was a question from the keyword called as Sila. So, in Buddhist tradition, what does Sila stands for? That means, what does it mean? So, this is important keyword in Buddhism topic. Now, Sila basically means physical control. That means it is a kind of integral part of eightfold path in Buddhism. Now, eightfold path, which is also called as Ashtangika Marg. Ashtangika Marg, that is right meditation, right conduct, right faith, right knowledge, right action. Getting my point? So, eightfold paths are there. Now, why eightfold paths are important? Because Buddha has given 4 noble truths. 4 noble truths in his first sermon at Sarnath in Deer Park of Sarnath. And in this first sermon, Buddha has given 4 noble truths. First noble truth is Dukha. The world is full of sorrow. Second, Dukh Samudaya. There are causes of sorrow like hatred, jealousy, ignorance. Clear? Third, Dukh Nirodh. These sorrows can be conquered and the path is Nirvana. Now, how to adopt Nirvana? 4th marg, Ashtangika Marg. That is eightfold path. Clear? Similarly, Sila keyword, this stands for, this is one of the integral part of eightfold path, and it includes 5 precepts. Okay? Now, these 5 precepts laid by Buddhists, like refraining from killing, that is non-violence. Second, stealing. Clear? That people should refrain themselves from stealing. Non-stealing should be there. Then sexual misconduct. Then lying. Clear? So they should refrain themselves from lying. And then intoxicant. So these are 5 precepts. That is why Shila stands for physical control. Clear? So this question was asked in CAPF paper in PYQ. Another was the difference between Heenyan and Mahayana was also asked. Now, whenever you read Buddhism, so after the death of Buddha, so whenever the boss of any religion dies, the religion is always divided into different sects. Similarly, Buddhism was also divided into two prominent sects called as Heenyan and Mahayana. Heenyan, which is also called as lesser vehicle, this is considered as conservative sect, and they wanted to preserve the original teachings of Buddha. That is why they are called as conservatives. Clear? So here Buddha is like a guru. Clear? Buddha is like a guru. That is why Heenyan stands for symbolic worship. That is the symbols associated with Buddha. Like the symbol associated with the birth of Buddha, lotus, elephant. Symbol associated with the renunciation of home is horse. Third important event, that is Dharma Chakra Parivartan, first sermon of Buddha. So Dhamma Chakra is there. So the chakra is having 8 spokes. 8 spokes represents eightfold path. Clear? This is also very important. And then the last most important thing is Mahaparinirvan, death, stupa. Clear? So stupa, this is also very important. And one more, that is third event was enlightenment, when Buddha got enlightenment at Bodh Gaya. So the symbol is Bodhi tree. So symbolic worship is there in Heenyan. On the other hand, art becomes narrative in Mahayana Buddhism. Now here idols of Buddha are created, idol worship. The concept of minor gods in Buddhism, that is bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas. And here art is in narrative form. Here symbolic form, here narrative form. This is the relevance of Buddhism. So the question was asked from this topic also, difference between Heenyan and Mahayana. So Mahayana believed in bodhisattvas, Heenyan did not, because bodhisattvas are minor gods in Buddhism. Clear? Another question was from Buddhist Sangh was an organization of monks. Yes. Now, there are 3 Ratna in Buddhism. Now, again, I am going to tell you one of the most important thing, that is 3 Ratna in Buddhism. 3 Ratna. That is 3 gems in Buddhism. First, Buddha. Second, Dhamma. And third, Sangh. These are 3 Ratna. Now, when you see the architecture of this stupa, on the top of that stupa, we read this. Chhatris are there. So initially 3 Chhatris were there. So these 3 Chhatris in Buddhism represents 3 Ratna of Buddhism. Buddha means awakened person. Dhamma means teachings of Buddha. And Sangh means community. So here the Sangh is an organization of monks who became teachers of Dhamma. Dhamma means Buddhist teachings. Clear? So this question was also there in CAPF. Clear? Now, another question was related to Buddhist Council. Yes, Buddhist Council consists one of the most important topic for your civil services examination. Now, there are total 4 Buddhist councils. Now, 4 Buddhist council. Now, try to understand. In CAPF, question was asked from 4th Buddhist Council. But let me tell you, there are 4 Buddhist Council. First Buddhist Council was convened after the death of Buddha, that is in 483 BC. 483 BC, and it was conducted by a ruler called as Ajashatru of Haryanka dynasty. And the place was Rajgrah. Clear? place was Rajgriha, and the chairman was Mahakashyap. Clear? So the outcome of first Buddhist council was, after the death of Buddha, they wanted to conserve and preserve the teachings of Buddha. That is why Buddhist literature was written. Buddha has not written anything. The literature was written by his disciples. Sutta Pitak, Vinay Pitak, those two literatures were compiled in first Buddhist council. Clear? Now, Sutta Pitak was written by his disciple Ananda, and Vinay Pitak was written by his disciple Upali. Clear? Now, the question is from, now second Buddhist council was conducted after 100 years of first Buddhist council, that is 383 BC. And the place was Vaishali. And it was convened under the patronage of a king called as Kalashok. And president was Sabakami. And in second Buddhist council, Buddhism was informally divided into two sects, Stavardhins and Mahasanghikas. Stavardhins, who wanted to conserve the original teachings of Buddha, that is, they are conservative. Mahasanghikas, they wanted to bring some change in Buddhism, so they are called as liberal, pro-changers. And then third Buddhist council was convened during the time period of Ashoka 250 BC at Patliputra. Now the main purpose of this council was because Buddhism was divided into different sects. So Ashoka unified Buddhism. He saved Buddhism from fragmentation. And Ashoka's main focus was on philosophy of Buddhism called as Dhamma. That is why the chairman of third Buddhist council was Mogaliput Tis. And a new literature was written called as Abhidhamma Pitak, the philosophy of Buddhism. And the last was fourth Buddhist council, which was held at Kundalwan, Kashmir in 78 AD during the time period of Kanishka. Now, the chairman of fourth Buddhist council was Vasumitra, and later one vice chairman also came whose name was Ashwaghosh, and Ashwaghosh was from that Saket region, Ayodhya region, and he wanted to bring some change in Buddhism, that is the concept of idol worship, bhakti in Buddhism. So Buddhism was formally divided in fourth Buddhist council called as Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism means liberal. Heenyan, symbolic worship, original teachings, conservatives. So, in fourth Buddhist council, which was held at Kundalwan, Kashmir by Kanishka, Vasumitra was the president and vice president was Ashwaghosh. Clear? And that is why here Buddhism was formally divided into two sects, Heenyan and Mahayana. Then, so this question was also in CAPF. Now remember these things. These analysis will tell you what are the important areas that you should focus on Buddhism and Jainism. Clear? Now, another important question, which one among the following is a full-fledged biography of Buddha? Now here, the question was asked by UPSC in CAPF. So the answer is Lalit Vistara. Answer was Lalit Vistara. Now Lalit Vistara is not a unified text. It is written by different authors. And Lalit Vistara talks, now this text is written in Sanskrit, and Mahayana Buddhism, Sanskrit is the most important language. All the Mahayana texts are written in Sanskrit language. Heenyan text written in Pali language, because Buddha has used Pali language to preach his ideas and teachings. So, it is written in Sanskrit and it is a part of Mahayana Buddhism. And this text, Lalit Vistara, tells us the story from the time of Buddha descent from Tushita until his first sermon. That is when Buddha was Siddhartha. And this story was of Siddhartha, who became Buddha, till first sermon at Sarnath. Clear? And second was option was also there called as Milind Pahanu. Milind Pahanu is a book called as Questions of Menander, because in post-Mauryan period foreign invasion was started and Indo-Greeks were the first foreign invader, and the most important ruler of Indo-Greek was Menander. Menander was converted to Buddhism by a monk called as Nagasena. So the debate and questions of Menander are recorded in a book which is written by Nagasena called as Milind Pahanu. So this book is written by Nagasena, monk Nagasena, and it is a debate and dialogue between Buddhist monk and Menander. Then another book is Sariputra Parakaran. Now Sariputra Parakaran, this book is written by Ashwaghosh. This book is written by Ashwaghosh. Now this book is on Sariput, who was the disciple of Buddha. Clear? Then another book, Avadhan Satak, the century of noble deeds. Now these are remember this thing, these are related to Buddhism only. So these are Buddhist texts. These are anthologies in Sanskrit, 100 Buddhist legends. Clear? Now these texts are important for the topic called as Buddhism. There are other texts, other foreign texts also, like Mahavamsha, Deepavamsha, like Sri Lankan Chronicles. So these texts are also important. Then another question was from Buddha's foster mother. So when Buddha was born, his mother died because of labor pain. Getting my point? His mother name was Mahamaya. And then his foster mother was Mahaprajapati Gautami. That is why he took the title Gautam Buddha. And she was also the first woman allowed in Buddhist Sangh. She was the first woman allowed in Buddhist Sangh. And she opened the entry for women in Buddhism. Clear? Then Bodhisattvas are related to Mahayana Buddhism, minor gods in Buddhism. Bodhisattvas, they are considered as passionate beings. Clear? That means they can achieve enlightenment, but they delay their nirvana for the sake, for the welfare of people. Getting my point? But they used their merit not to attain nirvana, but they help others. Like Dalai Lama is a Bodhisattva. Clear? Then another important text, Majjhima Nikya. Now Majjhima Nikya, it is written in Pali language first of all. Now let me tell you, now Majjhima Nikya, now there are three Pitaks in Heenan Buddhism scriptures, like Sutta Pitak, Vinay Pitak, Abhidhamma Pitak. Clear? Now Sutta Pitak is also divided into different chapters, like Dignikya, Majjhima Nikya. So these literatures are written in Pali language. Clear? So Majjhima Nikya is written in Pali and it is composed between the 3rd century BC to 2nd century BC. That meaning the collection of middle length discourses, and it is a part of Sutta Pitak, as you can see here. Clear? And Sutta Pitak is a part of 3 Pitak. That means 3 scriptures or 3 baskets of Buddhism. Clear? Now it is related to Theravada Buddhism. Theravada is also one of the form of Heenan Buddhism. Clear? Now, so these things are also very important. Now, another question in CAPF was from Mathura School of Art. Now, Mathura School of Art, let me tell you, in post-Mauryan period, when foreign invasion was started. So the most important foreign invaders were Kushan. Now Kushan's most important ruler was Kanishk. And Kanishk Empire was from Central Asia till Varanasi. And his important contribution in terms of Buddhist art, that is Gandhara art and Mathura art. Now why UPSC asked question from Mathura art? Mathura was the second capital of Kanishka. Important center for trade, art. Clear? So Mathura art is indigenous art. So here Buddha's images are carved in Abhay Mudra. Getting my point? Abhay Mudra. So let me show you the image of Abhay Mudra. Now as you can see here, this is the image of Abhay Mudra. Relevance of Mathura art. Clear? So remember this thing, Abhay Mudra is associated with Mathura art. So this question was asked. So that means you have to focus on the images of sculptures as well. Clear? Another question, Madhyamika Karika. This philosophy is composed by Acharya Naga Arjun. Madhyamika Karika, Acharya Naga Arjun, and this is considered as one of the foundational texts of Mahayana Buddhist philosophy. So till now we have seen in Buddhism, most of the questions are related to Buddhist literature. That means you should focus on Buddhist literature. Getting my point? Then another important question is from Sanchi Stupa. Now Sanchi Stupa is very relevant. Clear? Sanchi and Barahut Stupa. These two stupas were constructed during the time period of Ashoka, but these stupas were enlarged and decorated by post-modern dynasty. Shungas were there. Then Satavahanas came. Getting my point? So now remember this thing, the gateways of these stupas were financed by the guilds. Guilds means associations of merchants. So guild of ivory workers and Satavahanas. So Ashoka constructed plain stupas. So stupas were plain except for the stone railing. So when you go and see the image of Sanchi stupas, so railings are like this. These are pillars and you will see these kind of railings. Now in these railings, sculptures are created and these sculptures are based on Jataka stories or Jataka tales. Jataka tales are the stories on the previous birth of Buddha. Previous birth of Buddha means Buddha before becoming enlightenment. That means the story of Siddhartha before becoming Buddha. Clear? So these stories are there. Then gateways of these stupas were richly carved. Clear? And sculptures were also present, as we have discussed on all these things. And then this stupa was discovered during the time period of British in 1818, and only 3 or 4 gateways was standing and the whole mold was in good condition. Getting my point? And on these stupas, the story of Jataka tale is also mentioned. Clear? Now, various other things are also depicted in the sculptures, like war scenes, one of the themes also depicted in these sculptures. Clear? So these are the questions which are asked in PYQs of CAPF with respect to Buddhism. Now another important topic from ancient India, that is Jainism. Now another important topic. Now there was a question with respect to which of the following correct statements about Jainism. Clear? like the most important idea in Jainism is that entire world is animated. According to Jainism, entire world is animated, like even stone, rocks, water, everything have life. Even non-living things also have life in Jainism. Getting my point? That is why non-injury to living beings, especially to humans, animals, plants, insect, these are very important from the perspective of Jain philosophy. So Jainism as a religion believes in extreme practices. Clear? Whereas Buddhism believes in liberal practices. That is why the most important philosophy in Buddhism was Madhyam Marg, middle path. Clear? That is why Buddhism got spread outside India, but Jainism remained in India because of its extreme practices. Clear? So according to Jain teachings, the cycle of birth, rebirth, everything is shaped by karma. Karma. Clear? Asceticism, penance, these things are required so that to free oneself from the cycle of karma. Now this year, 99% chances are there that UPSC will ask question from the perspective of Jainism. Why? Recently, a guru of Jainism died because of Sanlekhana. And Sanlekhana is the extreme fast in Jainism. So huge possibility is there कि UPSC इस बार question आपसे Jainism से पूछेगी. Getting my point? Then another thing, these things can be achieved only by renouncing the world. When you renounce the world, then only you can achieve these things. Clear? Then you have to adopt monastic existence, and monastic existence is necessary condition for salvation in Jainism. And last but not least, Jain monks and nuns, they also took 5 vows. That means non-violence, second, non-stealing, non-lying. Getting my point? Then they observed celibacy and non-accumulation of wealth. Getting my point? These 5 important things are there in Jainism. Now another question was from the principles of Jainism. Now principles like the flow of karmic particles towards the soul. So when the flow of karmic particles towards the soul, this is called as asrava. Getting my point? This is important keyword in Jainism. Asrav. Clear? Another important thing, the state when karmic particles began to flow towards the soul to bind the thing, this is called as bandh or bondage. This is also called as bondage. Clear? So remember these things. According to Jainism, there are 5 types of knowledge also. Clear? So these kind of things UPSC might ask in your civil services examination. So you should focus on these things. Clear? Now, Mahavira, who is considered as most important or 24th Tirthankar in Jainism, 24th Tirthankar, founder of Jainism. So he became Jinnah at the age of 42. So the followers of Jinnah are called as Jains. Clear? So he attained Kaivalya Gyan or enlightenment at Jimbika Gram on the banks of Rijupalika river. Clear? But not in the field of householder named Samaga. So he became a monk. Clear? So this is the most important reason. At the age of 42, he attained Kaivalya Gyan. Kaivalya Gyan means supreme knowledge, ultimate truth. Clear? So these keywords are very important for your examination. Now, what is Samaga? Clear? Now, Samaga means it is a kind of meditation. And this meditation involves squatting in northeastern direction from a temple near a sal tree. That is called as Samaga. Getting my point? That is called as Samaga. As you can see here, this is also associated. Now, it is not in the field of householder named as Samaga. So, Samaga is basically a type of meditation, northeast direction. Getting my point? Clear? Under a sal tree. Now, Bodhi tree, that is people tree, is important for Buddhism. Sal tree is important for Jainism. Now, these questions are related to CAPF paper. Now, PYQs with now last 16-year PYQs for civil services examination. That is UPSC civil services examination. अब आपको इससे इंपॉर्टेंस पता चल गई होगी इस टॉपिक की, that Buddhism and Jainism are very important for civil services examination. Clear? Not only in prelims, even in mains also. Clear? Now, various questions were there, like the question was from Buddhism, reasons for the decline of Buddhism in early medieval times. Now, why Buddhism got declined? Now, in class, we have already discussed the rise of Vaishnavism. Clear? In post-modern period, Brahmins came with a philosophy of theory of incarnation where Buddha was mentioned as ninth incarnation of Vishnu. So, Buddhism later got merged into Hinduism because of bhakti. Mahayana is all about bhakti in Buddhism. So, rise of Brahmins. So, there are various reasons for the decline of Buddhism, like rise of Brahmins. Then, as I have said, that Puranic Hinduism came, and in Puranic Hinduism, now the Hinduism based on Purans, two important sects were created, like Vaishnavism in North India and Shaivism in South India. Clear? So they became popular. Then Buddha was considered as ninth incarnation of Vishnu, and he became a part of Vaishnavism. So Buddhism got merged into Puranic Hinduism. Then another question was from Bhumi Sparsh Mudra. Very important question. And all the mudras, all the postures in Buddhism are very important. So don't skip this topic. Getting my point? Bhumi Sparsh Mudra. Now, Bhumi Sparsh Mudra, the main important thing here is that earth is witnessing his purity, Buddha's purity. Bhumi Sparsh Mudra. Clear? Now, Nirvan. Now, these are some important keywords. Nirvan. Nirvan means extinguish the flame of desire. Getting my point? Or rejected the flame of desire. Clear? So that means, so person reached at the level of consciousness. Now for him, no more senses are important. Clear? Then Buddhist rock cut caves. Now in postmodern period in India, the first religion which started temple architecture was Buddhism. And Chaityas were considered as Buddhist temples. Now Chaityas are prayer halls, viharas are residence house for monks. So in postmodern period, you will see architecture of Buddhist rock cut caves. Two things will be there, Chaityas and viharas. So Chaitya is a place of worship, prayer halls, viharas, dwelling place for monks. Another question was there, image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvan. Mahaparinirvan, that means the symbol of death. Getting my point? And this image is located in Ajanta cave, cave number 17. Now Ajanta caves are only Buddhist cave. In Ajanta cave, there are total 29 caves. And out of 29 caves, 25 caves are viharas and 4 caves are chaityas. ये याद रखिएगा. 25 plus 4, 25 viharas, residence house for monks, 4 are prayer halls, that is chaityas. So in cave number 17, Ajanta caves, you will see the image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvan, that is reclining Buddha. And that image was built by Vakatak ruler of Deccan. Clear? Then, now another question which was there in UPSC Prelims examination was the monasteries. First of all, the monasteries associated with Buddhism. This is very rare. Getting my point? They asked only once this question. Clear? Now, is it important to remember the monasteries? Yes, if it is there in the newspaper. अगर कोई newspaper में monastery है, then you should remember those things. UPSC might ask. Clear? Try to understand the demand of UPSC. So, location of monastery like Tabo Monastery in Spiti Valley. Clear? Then Alchi Temple Complex in Ladakh. Then Lahotsav, Lakhang Temple Nako, Kinnaur, Himachal Pradesh. These three monasteries were asked in UPSC examination because these were there in news. That is why I am telling you, focus on current affairs as well. Last year, Prime Minister Modi visited Nepal. Okay, Buddha Purnima, occasion of Buddha Purnima. So they might ask question from Buddhism. Clear? Now, the places associated with Buddha. Very important. Now, there are some important places which are associated with Buddha. Now, this question, places associated with Buddha, was asked in 2014. And again, the same question was repeated in 2015. Clear? So, Buddha traveled through the villages and towns of Koshla, then Magad, Vaishali, Vajji. So, 8 important places are there. Go through all the places. Kushinagar, Shravasti, all these places are very important. Getting my point? And then UPSC also asked in prelims examination with respect to important terms like Magadha. Magadha Mahajanpad became superpower. So, chronicles, various chronicles are associated with Magadha, dynastic histories, epic tales are there. The founder of Magad, who is the founder of Magad? Jarasandh, mentioned in Mahabharata. Then Shramana, Shramana means seeker, conscious person. So Shramana tradition was started from 6th century BC. Shramana tradition was against Vedic rituals, Vedic practices. Clear? It was against Brahmical regime. So there are some Shramana important religions like Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivika. These religions comes under Shramana tradition. Then Parivar Ajag. When Buddha left his home at the age of 29, he became Parivar Ajag. That means homeless wanderer. Clear? ये सारी ही चीजें हमने क्लास में डिस्कस की हैं. Just go through your notes. Class notes are very important. And last important keywords, Agraharika. Agraharika means one who looks after the land given in charity. Clear? Like in ancient time, kings and big merchants, they used to donate the land. And the person who will look after the land called as Agraharika. Clear? Then Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas, as we have discussed, it was there in CAPF paper also. Bodhisattvas, they are belong to Mahayana sect of Buddhism. Clear? So they are considered as compassionate on his way of enlightenment, but they delay their own salvation so that they can help the living beings on this planet Earth. Clear? Then sect of Buddhism. Again, so we discussed about sect. Now here, as you can see, Sautrantika and Samkhya sect. Now these two were also the sect of Buddhism. Now Sautrantika is a school of Buddhism. This is within Shravastivada sect. Getting my point? Shravastivadins. Now remember this thing. Samkhya means who distinguish between the definite knowledge of Buddhism and interpretative knowledge of Buddhism. These small sects were also there in Buddhism, like in Second Buddhist Council, Stavardhans and Mahasanghikas. So these two sects are in these things only. Getting my point? Now, so Sarvastinadin, they held that constituents of phenomenon, they existed forever. Now this question was asked in 2017. Very important question. Getting my point? So just go through all these things, small information. Clear? Now Bodhisattva Padampani painting. Now this Sunday only in the Hindu newspaper, there was a news with respect to Padampani, Avalokiteshvara. So these paintings are located in Ajanta. Ajanta caves are Buddhist caves. These are Buddhist caves, and here you will get mural Buddhist paintings. Clear? Then Maitreya. Maitreya is considered as future Buddha, yet to come, just like in Hinduism, Kalki Avatar, part of Mahayana Buddhism. This was also there in PYQ. Then Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism, idol worship was started. So deification of Buddha was started. Deity. Buddha became a deity. In Hinian, Buddha is a guru. Then here they have that treading the path of Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are minor gods in Buddhism. And then in this image worship, rituals started just like in Hinduism. Clear? This is the relevance of Buddhism. Then again the sect. Now as you can see here, sect of Buddhism, again sect of Buddhism. अब इससे हमें क्या समझ में आ रहा है? That from the perspective of civil services examination, sect of Buddhism, the topic is very important. Now again, sect of Buddhism, Sthavirvad, Sthavardhins in second Buddhist council. So Sthavardhins, that means conservatives who wanted to conserve the teachings of Buddha. So they belong to Theravada only. Theravada means Hinian, original teachings of Buddha. Symbol worship. Then Lokotaravardhan. This is an offshoot of Mahasanghikas. Now Mahasanghikas attributed towards Mahayana Buddhism, liberal sect. अब ये याद रखिएगा, बस दो चीजें आपको ध्यान में रखनी है. Then Lokotaravardhan, then Sthavirvad. It is associated with Theravada and this is associated with Mahasanghikas. One is liberal, another is conservative. So this one is conservative and this Mahasanghikas are liberals like Mahayana Buddhism. They are attributed to Mahayana Buddhism. As you can see, deification of Buddha by Mahasanghikas, they fostered Mahayana Buddhism. Clear? So sect of Buddhism पे बहुत ज़्यादा आपको ध्यान देना है. Clear? Then apart from this, some important keywords like paramitas. Now paramitas means the perfection whose attainment led to bodhisattva path. That perfection should be there, then you can attain the path of bodhisattva. So that is called as paramitas. Then there are some important terms like parivarajak. अब आप यहीं पर समझिए, क्वेश्चन रिपीट हुआ है CAPF and in civil services examination. Just now we discussed parivarajak, homeless banderer. Clear? Renunciation. Then upasak, a follower of Buddhism, lay follower of Buddhism. Another keyword shramana. Again this is also a repetition. अब UPSC इस तरीके से repeat करती है. So before going into the prelims, practice all PYQs from the year 2011 till 2023, CAPF as well as this civil services examination. Clear? Shramana, that means conscious person, seeker who performs the acts of austerity. And three important religions in Shramana tradition: Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivika. Clear? Then some Buddhist text like Neti Pakaran and Avadhan Shatak. Now Neti Pakaran is associated with Hinian Pali language. Getting my point? Avadhan Shatak, as we have already discussed, that again it is associated with the Sanskrit text. Getting my point? Now some important personalities were also asked by UPSC civil services examination, like Aryadev was a Buddhist monk. He was from Sri Lanka. Aryadev was from Sri Lanka and he was born in 200 AD and he died in 250 AD. Now why Aryadev is important? He was a disciple of Acharya Naga Arjun. He was a disciple of Acharya Naga Arjun. Clear? Then Dignaga. Now why Dignaga is important? Dignaga is an Indian born in 480 AD and died in 540. Clear? He died in Orissa. Now why? Dignaga is Indian Buddhist scholar and his main contribution towards Indian logic. His contribution towards Indian logic is known for logic system. Then another important keyword, Dhanya Katak. Now Dhanya Katak, which is also known as Dharni Kota, and this was flourished at prominent Buddhist center in Andhra Pradesh only. So the question was asked because it was there in the newspaper, current affairs. Clear? Now, the question was from stupas. Now remember this thing, many students, they get confused that stupas are the concept in Buddhism. No, stupas were also there in Vedic period. Big Rishi Munis, the stupa system was there. So stupas not Buddhist in origin, they existed before also. Getting my point? So it was a votive and commemorative structure in Buddhist tradition. Now it was started after the death of Buddha. In Buddhism, it was started after the death of Buddha, that the relics of Buddhas were contained and stupas were constructed. So after the death of Buddha, plain stupas were there. Clear? Now, another important question was from Bhaja caves. Now, why Bhaja caves are important? Bhaja caves are Buddhist caves. There are total 22 Buddhist caves. Clear? In Pune district of Maharashtra. That means it was there in the newspaper. So this is the relevant of current affairs from the perspective of civil services examination in the subject history. Clear? Now another topic, Jainism. Now Jainism, the first question that I got in this PYQ was Mahamastak Abhishek. Mahamastak Abhishek. Now Mahamastak Abhishek is associated with Bahubali. Bahubali was the son of first Tirthankar in Jainism, that is Rishabhadev. And Bahubali was captured all its neighboring kingdom, that is why he got a title Bahubali. Clear? So Mahaastabhishek, it is considered as great consecration and it refers to the Abhishek, that is anointment, clear, of the Jain images. And the most important place which is associated with Bahubali, that is the statue of Gometeshwara in Karnataka at Shravan-Belgola. Clear? And this Mahamastak Abhishek held once every 12 years. Getting my point? This is the relevance. Clear? Now this Shravan-Belgola is also important for Chandragupta Maurya because Chandragupta Maurya, first Mauryan emperor, performed Salekhana fast. Clear? And because of starvation, he died. Similarly, as I have said, recently one Jain Guru also performed Salekhana and died. So, huge possibilities there. UPSC might ask question from Salekhana. Clear? Then Anekantvad. Anekantvad is one of the core philosophy in Jainism. That means every truth has multiple perception. Anekantvad. In Jain doctrine, it talks about metaphysical truths. That means it says that ultimate truth and reality is very complex and has multiple aspects. Aneko aspects. Clear? Then another important thing, Jain philosophy. Now in Jain philosophy, they say that world is created, but world is maintained by universal law. This question, very simple, straightforward question that you will get in your NCERT also. Getting my point? So NCERTs are basic foundation for UPSC examination. Now, another important thing, commonalities between Buddhism and Jainism. Now, what are the common things between Buddhism and Jainism? Both rejected Vedas, authority of Vedas. Buddhism and Jainism rejected grand rituals of Vedic period and they also rejected priestly class, like Varna system. Clear? Like Buddha said, Varna should be based on karma, not it should be based on birth. Clear? So Jainism, now there is one difference. Jainism talks about extreme penance. On the other hand, Buddhism avoided extreme things. Clear? So Buddhism talks about Madhyam Marg, middle path. Then Jain's karma doctrine was also asked in prelims examination. Now, according to this, surest way to annihilate karma is through penance, extreme penance. Getting my point? One can attain salvation through extreme penance in Jainism. Then karma is the bane of the soul and it must be ended. And for that, extreme penance is required. Then there is a sect. There was a question in PYQ with respect to a sect called as Sthanakvasi sect. Sthanakvasi sect, it is one of the sect of Shwetambara Jainism. Now, in Jainism, there are two sects. That is Digambaras and Shwetambaras. Digambaras are considered as sky-clad, naked. Shwetambaras, white-clad. Digambaras, especially, they are the followers of Mahavira, 24th Tirthankar. Shwetambaras are the follower of 23rd Tirthankar, that is Paraswanath. This is the difference between both the sects. That is why Sthanakvasi sect is one of the sect of Shwetambara Jainism, and they do not believe in idol worship. Clear? Another question which was there in PYQ was Jainism text. Like Parishth Parvan. Parishth Parvan is written by Hemchandra. Now, this text only mentions the story of Chandragupta Maurya, that Chandragupta Maurya along with Bhadrabahu monk, Jain monk, clear, and other people migrated from Magad to Shravan Belgola, and Chandragupta Maurya performed Salekhana fast. This story is mentioned in Parishth Parvan. Clear? Another book is Trisha Sthilashana Mahapuran. Clear? Now, this Mahapuran is composed by different authors like Acharya Jina Sen, then Gunabhadra, then another scholar was Chavundraya. These three scholars composed this Mahapuran in Jainism. Getting my point? This is very important. And then UPSC asked about the principles. Like in Jainism, souls are not only the property of animal, plant life, but also soul is there in non-living things like rocks, like running water also have soul. Clear? And many other natural objects. Getting my point? Which is not looked on as a living by other religions. Baki religions kya kehte hain? These are non-living things. But Jainism believes that these things also have soul. Extreme things. And then, last but not least, Sittanavasal cave. Very important. Jain caves are there. Clear? And the most important thing is Sittanavasal caves are Jain temple in, these are rock cut caves, Jain temple in Tamil Nadu. So these are the things which are there in your PYQ last 16 years. अब इससे हमें समझ में क्या आया? That you should focus on places associated with Buddhism and Jainism, sect associated with Jainism and Buddhism, literature very important associated with Jainism and Buddhism, current affairs associated with Jainism and Buddhism. Getting my point? So overall, if you see, Jainism and Buddhism, both the topics are very important for your UPSC Prelims examination. And there were some news this year also with respect to Jainism and Buddhism. I hope you like this session. For more such session, like and subscribe our channel. Okay? And also comment your doubts in our doubt section. on YouTube. Now, Legacy IAS Academy is coming up with one of the most important courses for civil services examination, that is NCRT course. 150 plus hours will be there, and the classes will held on Saturdays and Sundays. As you know, NCRTs are the basic foundations. ये जितनी भी चीजें हमने डिस्कस की हैं, 90% things are there in your NCRT. Clear? So you can enroll your name in NCRT course before the prelims examination, so that it can help you to lay your basic foundation. Remember this thing, a building cannot be constructed on a single day. You need a strong base. So NCRTs are considered as strong foundation for your civil services examination. That's all. And one more thing which is still there, that prelims means practice. Clear? Mains is used for preparation. So without practice, you cannot clear your prelims examination. That is why Legacy IAS Academy is going to start prelims full length test series. So interested students, they can join our test series and they can get whole schedule as well as answers, solutions, so that you can revise each and everything. And these test series are created by experts of Legacy IAS Academy. And this is very helpful, as we have already analyzed that even in last year and last to last year, our former students who cleared their prelims examination in first attempt, test series was helpful for them. Clear? So with test series, each and every solution will also be discussed. Thank you so much.